What's going on, everybody? Anthony Campo here, your coach and host of the Be Battle Ready podcast. Hey, today I want to talk to you about the battle of getting ahead of your outcomes. So sit back, relax, and I'll see you on the other side.
Welcome to the Be Battle Ready podcast, where we take a deep dive into what it takes to be battle ready in your lifestyle and in your business, so you can go to war on your life and the marketplace and win.
All right. So, today I want to talk about diving into the topic of traveling into the future and getting ahead of your outcomes. So the other night I was on a coaching call with one of my newer clients and teaching her the fundamentals of the battle ready system. Okay. About, one of the things is how to plan your week. And if you go back several podcasts, you can dive into that and understand what that means and all that stuff. But the principle here that I was trying to tell her is that, we have to get ahead of our outcomes, right? A lot of times we just jump into the day, we jump into the week, we jump into the month, and we kind of have an intentional, maybe we do, maybe we don't, but we just kind of hustle, right? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But, the more I've studied and successful people, successful business owners, the more I understand is that they actually travel into the future. And one of the biggest examples that it really re-solidified this principle for me was, that Jeff Bezos with Amazon is 2 to 3, 4 years in the future planning for that. When you're first getting started, you really only have the day, the week, the month, right? But it's important because, we have the power to create our own reality. And our current reality is our failure to or not to, that we either created the current, my bad, messing this up. No. So our current reality is basically we either did create something from in the past, step in the future in the past and created something, or we didn't, right? And, there's a number of reasons why we don't do this. I mean, I could reflect on the times that I have and have not, right? I mean, this has been something that on one hand, I've been crazily obsessed with. How do we plan and execute a successful campaign to get to our outcomes? Like, how do we do this? This is like the fundamental basis of being battle ready and having a battle ready system and having a battle ready life and having a battle ready business is, really, having a way to do things, having a way to plan, operate, and execute what you do inside your life and inside your business. And this is something that I've been obsessed with, but also have failed to do at times, right? I've failed to do because I didn't believe, I didn't think it would happen. I had judgment. There's a number of different reasons why, right? Sometimes I had this story of like, I just need to shoot from the hip and let things happen. And at some level, there is some of that. There's a balance here between being too planned, being too controlling, and too detail oriented in this and having enough freedom to allow it to come. But in this, the lessons inside of this is that you have the power to step into the future and create the outcome you want, right? You are the author of your life. Believe it or not, like sometimes we think it's up to God, up to anything else. And, I think there is a plan for your life, but we have been given free will, right? Free will to create, free will to live the life of our decisions. And that's basically what it is. We either decide to act, right? Our decisions create action and our actions create results in our life. And the results I have in my life are based off of those two things, the decisions of the actions that I've made. The decisions I've made and the actions based off of those decisions. So we are constantly writing our future. As you sit here right now, you're in the present, but you're also creating your future. And if you want to really create your future and create something beyond what it is, beyond what you currently have, then you need to step into the future and create that outcome. Paint that picture of what that is. And then step back and come into the present and say, well, how do I connect those two pieces? And what does my next 90 days look like? What does my next month look like? What does my day look like? How do I determine winning today? How do I determine winning this week? How do I determine winning this month, this quarter, this year? And as we finish this year, you can look back and say, hey, did I win the way that I wanted to win this year? Did I? And if I ask myself this in a number of areas of my life, I'm farther than I ever thought I would, right? Right. I just recently this weekend competed a triathlon, right? I had avoided that for a number of years. Okay. So physically, I over the last year, 2018, I was at probably, I was really good shape. I can't say the best shape, but then I started to gain weight over the year. And then I came into this beginning of this year, probably, 20 pounds over what I really want to be. And, I've dropped 10 to 12 of that already. And I haven't gone any lower just of decisions, but I still have more to come. But here's what I've done. I've reprogrammed my operating system, right? I have gone, longer than that. And inside we talk about spirituality and mindset. The amount of shifts that have happened this year in those two areas are phenomenal. Like I have rewritten and refilled in. I've fixed the cracks in my foundation, fixed the cracks in what was stopping me from moving forward. Now, in relationships, my wife and I have made major progress. We've grown together. There's still more to do. My boys are just growing up and they're starting to communicate with us. They're starting to, say back to us, I love you. And we're starting to build in that area. We're starting to communicate with them, and now we get to shape them even more. And it's such an exciting time. And in business, it's been up and down. And I have to be honest, I'm not anywhere close to where I want to be, to where I know I can be. But that's okay, because I've had to rebuild other things. Like my previous operating system only got me so far. So I've had to use this year. I've had to use the last 2 years of rebuilding it. Rebuilding each and line by line, the code by code. Because it'll only take me so far. So, to digress and complete this episode, the lessons in this is that, you have the power to step into the future. Your current reality is caused by us writing or not writing our future a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. Okay. And, your resistance to plan to do this comes down to a lack of faith and belief in yourself. And that, you are going down the right path. There's another aspect to the resistance is congruence and alignment. Are you congruent? Are your outcomes congruent with your values? Right? Like if your highest value is family, but you also want to have this crazy income and all that stuff, and you think that you're gonna get there by working, sacrificing your family for a while to do that, you're out of alignment. You're not congruent. And this is one of the struggles that I've had, because I have, aspirations of financial and overall, my business side, right? Having that success, but also I also have high value on the time and the relationship and the harmony I get with my family. So, these are just a few things that you need to understand when doing this. So the key into this, is to, just step back and start painting the picture of what you want things to look like, right? I have done this, what's the ideal? I love taking business owners. What's your ideal scenario? And sometimes it's hard for people to get there. So start with the ideal and start really asking yourself, building a pattern, a plan that actually gets there, and checking that and making sure it's congruent with your values. So, where are you failing to step into the future right now in your physical health, in your spiritual, like in your relationship with God, and with your relationships with your family, in your business? Like, where are you failing to step into the future and create that reality? Write that play, write that script, write that plan to get there. Right? And what can you do today? Block out some time. Don't put any restrictions on you, and start painting your ideal in all areas of your life. Right? In your physical health, relationship with God, relationships with your family, business, your actual lifestyle, day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. Paint the ideal. And then, go ahead and share that with me. Send that over to me. And if you're needing to step into this, look, I just took somebody and I have a meeting tomorrow with her. She has an agency, and she wants to do $1 million next year. So we sat down, we started doing this. So if you want a process, if you want to sit down and go through this exercise of painting the ideal, of really fulfilling your dreams across all areas of your life, let's go ahead and have a conversation, and we can get that going. Until next time, I look forward to supporting you, and I'll talk to you soon.
This concludes another episode of the Be Battle Ready podcast. If you're looking to put it all together across all the areas of your life and be battle ready, come get connected with powerful leaders in our Be Battle Ready Facebook group, where we will be dropping new battles to win each day.